Hello and welcome to Stocksees. In today's video, we will talk about the stock of Lululemon, a company that in recent years has been identified with the combination of sportswear and everyday clothing. Lululemon is not just a clothing company, but a brand with a loyal audience, high profitability, and a strong presence in the modern lifestyle. However, its stock has experienced strong fluctuations, especially in the last year. In this video, we will examine the history of the company, the course of the stock over the last 5 years, the developments of the last year, the positive and negative points, as well as the estimates of experts. Stay tuned until the end of the video. Let's get started. Lululemon was founded in 1998 in Vancouver, Canada, by Chip Wilson. Its original idea was simple but innovative for the time: quality, comfortable and stylish yoga clothing at a time when this type of exercise was starting to become very popular. The company began as a small store, which also functioned as a place to exercise and meet the local community. Over the years, Lululemon has grown rapidly. In 2007, it went public, which allowed it to raise capital and expand. During the 2010s, it opened stores in many countries, expanded dynamically into men's clothing, and broadened its range of products beyond yoga. At the same time, it established the image of a high-quality company with prices above average, but with consumers willing to pay for reliability and comfort. One of Lululemon's key characteristics is that it doesn't rely solely on mass promotion. Instead, it emphasizes building relationships with its customers through events, partnerships, and local activities. A large portion of its sales are made directly by the company itself, either through stores or online, which helps maintain high profitability. This way of operating has performed particularly well in recent years, especially after the pandemic, when comfortable clothing became an everyday choice for a large part of the population. Lululemon stock began its stock market journey in 2007, when the company was listed on the United States Stock Exchange. At that time, the stock value was relatively low as the company was still in its growth phase and had not yet achieved its current recognition. The first few years were characterized by a gradual rise, with several fluctuations, as the market tried to value the true size and prospects of the company. As the years passed and Lululemon began to establish itself in the sportswear market, its stock followed an upward trend. Especially after 2015, its value began to increase at a more stable rate as the company showed increasing revenues and profits. Investor confidence strengthened and the stock entered a long-term period of growth. The most impressive phase came in the period 2020 to 2021. During these years, the stock saw a big rise as lifestyle changes and a shift towards comfortable clothing strongly favored the company. In a relatively short period of time, the share price increased by hundreds of percentage points compared to the levels of the previous decade. For many investors, Lululemon was considered one of the most successful companies of the time. This upward trajectory peaked in late 2023, when the stock recorded the highest point in its history. In December 2023, the price reached approximately $511, marking a historical record. Compared to the first few years after the stock market entry, the overall rise was impressive and represented huge profits for those who had invested early. However, after this high point, the picture changed noticeably. Since the beginning of 2024, and especially in 2025, the stock began to decline. The decline was sharp and in some periods the price reached close to $160. Compared to the historical high of $511, this corresponds to a decline of more than 65%. Within a period of about a year, the stock lost almost half of its value, with an annual decrease of almost 45%. Today, the stock is trading significantly below its all-time highs, reflecting the changing market sentiment. This trajectory clearly shows that despite the company's long-term upward trajectory, Lululemon stock is characterized by sharp fluctuations. Since the beginning of its journey until today, it has gone through periods of great growth and deep corrections, reminding us that even the most successful companies do not always follow a straight line. Despite the stock's sharp fluctuations in recent years, Lululemon still has significant upsides that set it apart in the activewear space. First, the company has built a particularly strong brand identity. Consumers don't just buy a piece of clothing, they connect with a specific philosophy of comfort, quality, and lifestyle. This has created a loyal audience that returns time and time again. Another key advantage is product quality. Lululemon's clothing is considered durable, comfortable, and well-designed, which allows the company to maintain higher prices than its competitors. This ability to maintain prices shows that the company doesn't rely solely on discounts to sell its products. Another important upside is its financial picture. Lululemon has historically been more profitable than other apparel companies and has a healthy financial foundation. This allows it to weather tough times, invest in new products, and adapt more easily to market changes. Moreover, the company is not limited to its core market. In recent years, it has been expanding into new countries, with a particular focus on Asia, where demand for quality sportswear is growing. This geographical expansion offers growth prospects that can support revenues in the future. Finally, Lululemon has experience and expertise built over decades. It knows its audience well, adapts its products to their needs, and has proven that it can evolve. These elements make the company resilient and enable it to remain a major player in its industry, even in times of increased challenges. Despite its strengths, Lululemon also faces significant challenges that cannot be ignored. One of the main negatives is the sharp slowdown in growth in recent years. In markets where the company had high growth rates until recently, such as the United States, demand is showing signs of fatigue. This raises concerns about whether the company can maintain the same growth rate in the future. A second serious issue is increasing competition. Many new activewear companies have entered the market, offering products with similar aesthetics and quality. This competition is pressuring both sales and profit margins, as consumers now have more choices than ever before. In addition, Lululemon mainly targets a higher income audience. In times of economic uncertainty, this audience can limit their purchases, directly affecting the company's revenues. Its products, due to their higher price, are more vulnerable to a decrease in demand when economic pressure increases. Another negative element is the increased volatility of the stock. The sharp price fluctuations show that the market is particularly sensitive to news and financial results of the company. This means that even small deviations from expectations can lead to sharp drops in the stock. Finally, any delay in expanding into new markets or failure of new products can negatively affect the company's image. Lululemon has set the bar high, and the market constantly expects positive results. In such an environment, mistakes cost more, and investors' tolerance is limited. Experts' estimates of Lululemon vary widely, reflecting the uncertainty surrounding the company's next phase. On the one hand, there are analysts who believe that the stock has fallen too far relative to its true value. They argue that the company's strong brand name, high-quality products, and sound financial condition create the conditions for a gradual recovery in the coming years. These experts believe that if the company manages to stabilize its sales in its core markets and continue its expansion into new countries, the stock can move higher again. According to this view, the recent decline is seen more as a correction period after many years of growth, rather than as a sign of permanent weakness. On the other hand, there are more cautious analysts who warn that the era of rapid growth may be over. They emphasize that competition is now much more intense and that the sportswear market has matured, especially in the United States. In their view, Lululemon will need to prove in practice that it can maintain steady growth without putting pressure on its profitability. In terms of forecasts, the general conclusion is that the course of the stock in the coming years will depend largely on management's decisions. The success or failure of expansion into new markets, consumer response to new products, and the general economic situation will play a decisive role. Overall, experts agree on one key point. Lululemon remains a quality company, but its stock is now accompanied by increased uncertainty. For the investor, this means that potential returns coexist with corresponding risks and that decisions require careful thought and patience. In conclusion, the story of Lululemon is one of great success, but also of intense fluctuations. From a small store in Canada, it managed to evolve into one of the most recognizable sportswear companies in the world. The course of the stock reflects this path: long-term growth, periods of enthusiasm, but also sharp corrections. Today, Lululemon remains a strong company with quality, experience, and a loyal audience. At the same time, however, it is at a critical point where it is called upon to prove that it can continue to grow in a more demanding and competitive environment. The opportunities exist, especially through expansion into new markets, but the risks are real and should not be underestimated. For the investor, Lululemon stock is no longer an easy choice. It is a case that requires patience, a good understanding of the data, and a clear strategy. As with any investment, here too, the balance between potential returns and risks is key. In any case, Lululemon remains a company worth watching closely because the next chapter of its story has not yet been written. If you like this analysis and want more videos about stocks, companies, and the economy in simple and understandable words, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your opinion on whether Lululemon is worth investing in now. See you in the next video.